Okay, we're back for part 2 now, so we're just picking up where we left off before. Oh wow, was that just a... Oh no, he was shoving. I thought he just made it like an Atex open for the fun of it, but it was a shove. This is a good fold, especially because this guy's so deep, but even if he had 4k as well, I think it's a good fold. I think you have been flatting a little too often in this spot, but I think this is a good fold.
Yeah, I agree.
Table change. Ace king, min's fine.
You could check it back. But
I like betting.
I'm not really fussed either way, really. If we're betting, I'd like to make it more close to the third pot, like 20, and save the big blind, or half a big blind.
I think if you bet really small though, like you get mid pairs to call quite a lot, which is bad for us.
Yeah, but if we're c-betting this board, we're not c-bet give up. We'll be barreling because there's just not that many queens in this range. That's not a very good card to barrel, really.
Yeah. Check back's okay.
Like other cards we could barrel. Yeah, he's gonna have like we could bet here, but do tens and stuff fold?
No, I don't think any pairs fold here. So I kind of just check back and hope he has a worse ace. Nines. Yeah, I don't think he's folding nines. So I think that's
fine.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he could even call turn if we barrel, because he could just put us on diamonds. I know I've leveled myself into just thinking they have a draw and calling, so I don't actually mind, given that we're deep and that I don't actually mind like just playing it a little bit more straightforwardly. You don't have to barrel every time. I mean, you definitely do have to barrel sometimes. Just one and done isn't great all the time.
Wouldn't be shoving 30 bigs, yeah. I'd be 3-bet calling.
It probably has the same effect against this guy.
Yeah, it's just the guys behind.
All you're doing is value tanning yourself against F, Dimmer and Manny when they actually have a huge hand. Like, if we make it 1300 here, these guys aren't shoving light unless they're like complete sickos or they have reads, which, because it's a new table.
Yeah, exactly. So we can 3-bet fold to them.
Yeah, so I'm making it like 1300, you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, like,
although
like
the problem is
14-1-1 or something.
Yeah. It does look stronger to this guy though, Namco.
It doesn't really matter because he's 3x'd with his 14 big blind stack, so he's not folding.
It's a fair point. Oh wow. Sick life.
Like, he would snap pile that in our face if we made it 1400.
Yeah.
But the last thing you want is when we jam 30 bigs and two guys with 30 bigs next to us both just snap us off.
Yeah.
Or just call when they hit call for half the stack and you just know.
You just know they've got aces.
Yeah,
their range is aces plus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Half the combos of aces.
Yeah.
So you bet them?
4, 5, 6. 400's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I like this still. Because they're a bit deeper here. Like, there's no 3-bet shove stacks on anymore. Except for, like...
15 big blind stack.
Except for the button. So,
and the button's got 15 bigs, so he shouldn't really be shoving super wide on us.
Like, we can probably just raise call against 15 big blind shove too. That's kind of sucky. Yeah. Like, flat's a bit yuck, but whatever.
Not when we flop that.
Just do that. You can bet smaller here too.
Yeah.
Like, bet 550.
Yeah, I agree.
Just for the fact that if you bet smaller here, like, this looks really strong given that we're three-handed here. So, if I see this, I might even fold, like, ace-10.
Yeah, I agree. If we bet smaller, we still have air in our range. We'd never bet half pot without air here. Or people won't expect us to, more importantly. Whether we do or not's irrelevant. It's just, it looks like a way stronger range.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, given we're three-way, like 30 bigs effective, we're getting it in by the river pretty comfortably anyway.
Yeah, let's just go back to
And we're never getting it in on the turn, really. Like we'd have to go pot to get it in on the turn, really.
Yeah, so
we'd have to bet pot and then slightly over jam turn to get it in by the river.
Yeah, see, FDim has got a stronger range here than the other guy because he defended at the big blind. So let's assume we're trying to get it in by the river against FDimmer here. So if we bet 550 and he calls, then he's got 4.5 left, and the pot is 25.
Mm-hmm.
So then on the turn, we could bet say 1200 into 25. Then if he calls, he's going to be left with 3.5, and we're going to have nearly 5 on the river, and sets it up for an easy jam. You could even bet slightly smaller. You could even bet like 1100 on the turn, or 1000 on the turn, and still have him less than a pot size bet left on the.
And of course, when we bet smaller, electrodes is just going to call off way wider because he's now getting pot odds to like call with 9-10 suited, or like Queen Jack now might speculate a street, whereas they're just folding to our bet.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I think with bet sizing, and it's kind of what we're back to say before about 3xing. I think a lot of the sizing, especially post flop, is to try and get it in by the river if we have these sort of hands. And so I'm making it as small as possible to be able to do that, because there's just no real need to make it bigger, because it just means they fold earlier.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we're pretty deep now.
I'd be defending here most of the time, to be honest.
I like it better if it's suited. I don't mind a 3-bet here.
Yeah, I don't mind 3-betting. I don't, especially if he's going to call heaps. I think a hand with post-flop playability is important. From a purely theoretical perspective, if he's never flatting a 3-bet, you should 3-bet super polarized, so it should be like very top of our value range and absolute junk with blockers. Whereas if he flats us a lot, then we should be 3-betting depolarized. So our light 3-bet should be hands that flop well. So we shouldn't be 3-betting like 7-6 suited. We should be 3-betting like King Jack off.
Yeah.
Because he's going to call with worse.
Yeah. I agree. So this is probably, in terms of a depolarized range, the very bottom of what we would 3-bet.
Yeah.
But now that we're on this board, I think it doesn't hit his range either. So
yeah. We can
I'm
just bet here in a lot of ace highs. Give up.
Yeah, I'm definitely betting like 1100. Check raise is kind of weird because, like, what do you ever check raise aces here? I mean,
what hand? There's literally no value hands you check raise here. You might check raise ace king of clubs as like one of the only hands you rep,
and tens, and that's pretty small. Like ace queen of clubs as well. Like there is overcards and clubs range here, but that's probably it.
And that's how bad.
And that's bad for us because if he could level himself into calling with a pair, which is quite bad for us. So I just like betting here. I just think this looks really like it's either bluffy in terms of we have draws or air, or like or like super thin like monster range, which is tens or maybe aces.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think that like anyone that can hand read is ever believing that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fold nines to that, to be honest.
No, the thing is, even bad people who can't hand read don't fold nines that often because they just level themselves into thinking you have a draw when you check raise here, because you're repping like the only made hand that you're repping is like tens. So
yeah,
if they've got like nines, they just go, oh, he must have a
flush draw.
He must have a flush draw. Let's just get it in, or at least just peel a street. So this here, like his stab and fold, is probably like just an ace high or a broadways or something.
That would have followed to the C-bet.
Yeah. So I mean, you do get slightly more value, but like, I don't think it works as
I
well.
I think its success rate is way lower because
Yeah,
we also require him to bet.
yeah, exactly. Yep, opens fine. Oh, yep,
Yeah,
yeah, five,
that's awesome.
obvious five. Hello, kings. Um, your bet sizing's slightly bigger here than before. Like I think you made it 5-2-3 before.
It's just all over the show, really. You made it 5-1-1 earlier.
Yeah, I'd be making it for every level. I'd be making it exactly the same. Probably the only spot where I wouldn't like, I might make it slightly bigger is small blind, big blind. I mean, I don't usually, but that's just my preference. A lot of people do. A lot of people will even go up to
Like,
two.
you can also, if you want, size it to the effective stack size. Like, you can min raise when there's shove stacks behind and like 2.5 into the other 50 bit blind stacks if you want. But making it bigger here into a reshove doesn't really make much sense because all you're trying to do is discourage him from shoving.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Or when he clicks it back.
I probably click it back again.
Yeah, like
Oh, maybe, but no, make it bigger. I'd make it like,
I'm making it like 1888.
yeah, or like 2-1-1-1 would be the options I have.
Yeah, 2250 is fine. It's probably slightly. No, that's all right because this is not bad because
He's
you're
gonna
inducing
flat.
him to shove, or if he flats, he's in a world of pain. But he also, like, it's conceivable that he'll just stuff 11k here as well. He flats, which is fine. So now what's our plan before we see the flop out? You there, mate? Looks like Tom has given up. I'll just pause this and be back in a sec. Alright, we're back now. Tom's internet cut out because he lives in a third world country, so...
Yeah, shut up.
Alright, so... We had this hand with kings where we opened and big blind clicked it back, and now we're 4-betting. And we get flattered. So what I was going to ask was, what's our plan here? Because the pot's 48.50 and he's got 10k left. I think we're betting 2k on any flop. What do you think about that?
Yeah, close to it. Yeah,
That's a great
almost
flop because he can have ace queen in his range now.
Yeah, that's too big. I
This is
think.
slightly too big. Like if we bet 2k,
Like,
and
if we think about it in terms of sizing here, we bet 2k and it's pot size on the turn.
yeah,
We bet 3.5 here almost, and we're going to be betting 8k into 11 on the river, almost 12 on the river.
yeah. So on the turn, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, on the turn.
Yeah, so I think he just calls a 2k bet quite a lot more often. Like he might even peel one with jacks or something. Whereas this
Or
huge,
like ace king.
yeah. Whereas this huge sizing, I think he just folds most of the time. So he calls. So I'm thinking his range here is probably like
Ace queen,
ace queen,
jacks,
queens
tens.
plus. Yeah, tens might fold. I think jacks and tens are kind of.
Yeah, they'd probably be in his range if we bet a bit smaller. I mean, he could have nines as well.
Like I think they're still here,
Queens.
but I think they discounted a little bit more.
Yeah.
With a bigger bet size. So I think this is an easy shove. Yep. And I expect to be looked up by ace queen.
Or he folds ace king.
Yeah, he folds ace king. Once again, he might hero us with like obviously kings and aces. He's going to be calling, and he might hero us with jacks. But I expect the most value to be ace queen here. I expect him to call with ace queen here, to be honest.
Maybe king queen if he got.
Oh
funky.
wow! Fuck.
Jesus.
All right. Well, if you had a read that he was a super fish, then I kind of like your huge bet sizing. Like if he's going to be calling here like this, then I really don't mind the bigger bet sizing. Just for the fact that it can commit him a bit easier.
Yeah, but I just don't think like hands folding the river ever. Like I think we can bet and get it in versus more. Like because then random terrible hands still call. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's virtually no action killers. Like, an ace sucks, but most of the time it hits him. So there's only 3 of them out there.
Yeah. And it doesn't kill action, because...
No, it doesn't at all.
So... That's ridiculous. That's just awesome.
That's just charity, really.
Yeah. Once again, your bet sizing's different again. And given that this guy's really short in the big blind, we're probably going to have to raise call him because he's got under 10 bigs. So I'm just folding here.
I don't mind raise calling him, just because King 5 does okay versus the range that he probably ships in.
If it was King 10, I kind of agree, but I think there's lots of kings that...
Yeah, King 9 and stuff would be...
Yeah, this is pretty much... Oh, thanks. I seriously haven't looked at this, so that was just luck. But, yeah. This is pretty much the reason why I don't do it with King 5, and I might do it with, like, Queen Jack or King 9 instead.
See, I just like King X hands because we beat, like, Queen X, all Jack X, all thing. We don't dominate as much, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, like, and we don't flip against, like, 6s, 7s, 8s anymore as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think...
This is a valid forward.
Yeah.
I just think with less than 10, he's getting in so tight here, wide here, though. Like, 7-5's going in. 8-7's going in. 6-5's going in.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Like, I'd much prefer to do it with, like, Jack 10 than King 5, to be honest.
Yeah, but I'd rather get it in with, like, King 8.
Oh, yeah.
Jack 10.
Yeah, no, the bottom of my range there, I'd probably do it with Queen Jack and King 9 and, like, 5s plus. That's probably my range.
I'd definitely be doing, like, King 8. Just because he will fold some of the time as well.
Yeah, you can add King 8 in there as well, I suppose. So it's not bad. I think it's just very slightly too wide. I don't think it's like...
It's also not bad for our image, seeing us raise call off hands like that. Yeah. Because people get kind of scared to 3-bet us.
Yeah. I don't really like this flat, just for the fact that I think it's more reverse implied odds type. Like, we're pretty deep against this guy, and we're going to have to flop a flush draw or, like, King 9. If it comes King High here, we're losing a big pot. Or we're winning a real small pot. And I mean, that's fine afterwards. But, like, if this was King Queen, I think it's fine to flat.
I'd be flatting King Jack suited. King 10 suited is probably too loose even.
Yeah.
No, King 10 suited, but I just don't, like, we don't flop. Like, 3-gappers are substantially worse than 2-gappers.
Yeah, I mean, I probably don't even flat King 10 here. I wouldn't flat King Jack off. I think King Jack suited is probably the worst hand I flat here. And, like, Ace 10 probably as well.
I probably flat a bit wider than you. Because I don't think that's awful. I just don't really love it as a hand.
It's definitely not awful.
I'd be flatting like Jack 10 suited and Queen Jack suited and probably King Queen off, King Jack off.
Yeah.
King Jack suited, King 10 suited would be my bottom of my range.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems like you've settled into 6-2-3 as your open size, which is fine. So I'd just stick to that now. That's all good. What did we miss? Oh no, that's fine. 9-7. Open's good, but I'd be making it 6-2-3 again. I just don't... Like, I think once you get a blind level, you have to stick to that same open size. It doesn't seem to be necessarily related to your hands. I just don't understand why you're making it different, to be honest.
We have to call off the big blind here.
Yeah, we would have. Yuck. I think we have to flat now, but it's just like...
No, I'm still just folding. Like,
sorry, yeah, he's not really that deep, is he? Like, he's only 20.
No, he's 25-ish.
Oh, with the 1200,
25,
like
25
yeah.
with the 4x in there. So 29 bigs. See, I'm just
Yeah, I agree.
every flop he's jamming, so we're never realizing equity on our draws. We're never getting to showdown cheap.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, yeah.
See, just like, what flops do we love?
Yeah,
We're
and all
not
we did
flopping enough
you're right.
equity
All we
ever.
did is just and the fact that he has a lot of aces in his range too. So even on an ace high flop, we're still
We
like,
pay him off.
Yeah,
And 3 high flops, he just checks it down. So, I mean, reverse implied odds all over it.
yeah.
Don't mind opening this, to be honest.
No, but sizing has to be consistent.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, so we go 3x.
Just fold pre.
He's only got 22,
Yeah.
so we can't set mine here. Yeah, it's slightly too... I think like 35 is probably my minimum. Maybe 40 is my minimum for set mining. What do you think?
It depends how much he opens. Like, if someone 10x's, we have to have, like, 100 deep to set mine, really.
Yeah.
But,
That's
like, so since he 3x'd it, makes it even harder. Like, we could probably defend with 5s with some min-raise, just because we're sometimes good, and we're sometimes getting the showdown, and we're sometimes turning into a bluff on later streets.
Yeah,
But, like,
I think something like a hand like 9s is definitely more, like, as you say, you could have had the best hand sometimes. 5s is kind of on the...
Yeah, well, any pick is kind of fine, given the price we're given, if we don't think his range is super narrow. But he's 3xing with a 22 big blind stack.
Yeah.
Like, we're flopping a set, we're folding, and we don't have the implied odds.
Yeah.
We don't have the required odds to make it okay.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, so... limp from a 32 stack. Now, is there anyone who can shove on us? Like, Migoni can. I mean,
yeah,
I don't really love it, but it could, like, I'd much rather do it with a hand like 10-8 suited or something, where your top pair might be good sometimes, whereas here, it's probably, like, if you flop a 7 or a 5, it's probably never good.
Yeah, I would rather ISO than limp behind, really.
Yeah, because it just allows you to take control of the pot, and because you can just see that, and he can fold out like his broadways and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, even though our hand's pretty weak, our equity heads up is just so much stronger and so much easier to realise. Whoa, what is this?
Misclick, surely. I'm putting that down to a misclick.
Yeah.
I really hope so. Because
misclick.
Like, this is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I don't think we should spend too much time on that, because I'm pretty sure that's a misclick.
Yeah. Well, it explains itself, really.
Yeah. Opens kind of loose. I mean, I don't mind folding, but I don't mind opening either. But once again, I'll be making it the same sizing. Maybe after that last hand, because we just lost a huge pot, it's probably a decent time to just fold.
Just chill.
Yeah.
It's also better because I know that, personally, I don't necessarily punt, but I just become... I find it a little hard to concentrate after I do something stupid. Like,
yeah.
If I misclick call, I should really just always give up on the flop, even if I think I could barrel them or something, because I'm just going to make it so much harder on myself.
And because you're always slightly steamed after something like that, so what happens now is you try and, like, triple barrel them every time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and you go from being marginal, like, this is, at least we're checking back. This is not a board we should be C-betting. It's not the board we should check raising.
Yeah.
He's going to either call us with, like, the nuts, or he's going to pile a lot, and we still can't call.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we're way behind now.
He checks back. And I reckon he's got, like, a 9 or, like...
He can even have things like ace-jack here. Ace-queen. Like, if we're raising, we should really barrel the river.
Yeah. Yeah, king 10.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
don't
turn
love
rate's
that. I
pretty
think,
bad.
yeah,
Like one hand, we're hoping to fold out like such a narrow range,
I
and
think,
even then they probably float.
yeah,
Like so, if we raise, we have to fire river.
this is a pretty prime example of like what happens if you misclick and then get a bit steamed and just try and win these chips back straight away, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't make a huge amount of sense this race because like all you're repping is a 9, which is pretty thin, and like even if he has a king, he's calling. If he had, obviously king 10's calling, like he could still have. He's definitely got like queen jack and stuff in his range as well.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah.
And he's got heaps of stuff that we just can't fold out, like 9 jack, 9 queen,
Yeah.
queen king, like, nothing folds.
Yeah. I mean, king queen's probably like the bottom of his. Like he may fold it sometimes, but he's probably calling other times.
He's probably calling with a gutter as well.
Yeah.
Like, we have to fire a river to make him fold that, and even then he doesn't always folds.
Yeah.
I think we should be folding this given how many hands we just opened, and we're down to 21 bigs.
Yeah. So we've just lost a whole chunk of our stack. So I'd just be the next hand I'd hear. I'd just be trying to make it a value hand,
Well,
basically.
did they fold that one pre with the queen?
Yeah. Yeah. It was just what it went folded through.
I'd be defending him.
Yeah.
So,
Is this too
I feel
much to
like
be
it's too
like
deep to shove.
shoving? Because
I
I
feel
kind
like
of do hear a lot, and I don't know whether it's good or not.
I don't really like it because it's hard to really like our range is so really clearly defined, and plus with our image now, we're not getting folds from A6, so we're just voluntarily taking like a 45%er.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, Gross slot. I'd probably call one fold to a turn bet.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And he checks back, so I don't like. He could have weaker aces in his range. I'm probably like bluff
Check
catching,
fold. Remember?
or yeah, check call. Oh, sorry, check fold.
Because I mean, even if he has like a random, well, he can't really have twos, but like
Yeah,
there's
like
nothing.
what does he bluff? What does he
Like,
bluff here?
because
Like,
now all aces are the same.
yeah, it's like queen jack of diamonds is like pretty much it, right?
Yeah, but like if you think about it, like the aces that were worried about being outkicked, so playing passively, are now,
Yeah,
the same because it's 2-2 king ace is being played.
yeah. Alright.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not sure why we're not like. I think one thing that I've noticed is you very very rarely c bet, and I'm not really sure why. I'd be definitely c betting here.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't want to check call because I don't think he's gonna like bluff an awful lot. I don't want to check raise because we don't rep any viable hands, really.
You just check raise. You kind of rep sets, which is kind of thin. So if they
And like
and
overcast.
draws,
Yeah.
and because of draws, because you're repping draws, they just level themselves into calling, or just shipping with like pairs. So
Yeah.
we don't have fold equity when we do that.
I'm trying to just barrel this hand because there's so many good turn cards for us.
Yeah,
Like
like a queen,
kings,
a
eights,
queen.
jacks, good cards for us.
Yeah, any card over a 10, an 8 is good, a 9 is good, a spade is good.
It's just barrel city.
Yeah, I mean this is probably one of the worst turn cards really, because it doesn't
Yeah.
really change the board. I mean I still like the fact that you bet that given check turn, given check flop, but I think it's 100% bet flop here.
Yeah, like if we were like middle position and that flop was against like a big blind defending, then I'd be more inclined to just check back.
Yeah,
But given it's blind versus big blind, his range is so wide that we can just barrel him off so much stuff.
yeah. I think this is okay with the fold just for the amount of hands you've been playing. If you're kind of running well and pretty confident post flop, I think you could open here sometimes. But I think folding's okay too.
I think folding's okay given we've opened so many hands. Normally I open most of my buttons.
Yeah, I agree. I probably open
Jack.
like 50% of buttons plus.
More than that, when the people aren't playing back at me, I tighten it up whenever I get some resistance. But until then, you can just go nuts.
Yeah.
Great flop.
This is a great flop to raise because, as I was saying before, we kind of rep draws when we raise, and we rep a 9 as well. But like, no one ever puts you on a 9.
Yeah, see, I expect them to bet fold here a ton, to be honest, because people that donk this side it's just like they just defend or they bet fold. So like, I want to raise it, but if he bet 2k, I'm probably flatting.
Like, but do they? Oh yeah, if bet 2k, I'm flatting. But like, does he barrel betting that size? Like, except for
No, he doesn't barrel. No, I'd be raising. I'd be
sorry.
raising.
I thought you said you'd be flatting.
No, definitely never flatting. I just think he folds a lot, so I make it smaller because we want him to call.
Yeah, like
so
I make it like 1,000.
If I wanted him to fold, I'd make it like 1,600 here. If I wanted to fold, since even more maybe. Like the bigger I want it. If I think he's never, he might be inclined to call, I'd make it like 1,800 or something, and then barrel turns. But since I wanted to call, I'd make it like 1,200, 1,350 or something.
Yeah, see, I found a lot of these like min donk bets are like a medium strength hand, which probably indicates like a draw or like a mid pair. I think that's that's the standard range for like a. I mean, this guy's probably a fish just doing this. That's what I think.
See, now I want to raise again. I'd make it slightly bigger because the pot's slightly bigger, so like 1,600.
Yeah, I agree.
If I raise flop, it would have been like 1,200 just because we block so much. Raise.
So, yeah, he's got like, he may have like 10s, but I reckon he's got like 4s through 8s here like every time.
We've just allowed him to blocker us on 2 streets, so now we have to go massive on the river.
Yeah, and now this just becomes quite...
easy fold for him.
Yeah. See, that could be clubs, which we want to charge on the turn, and I think he still calls on the turn, and definitely on the flop.
Yeah. That could be random shit like Jack 10, which won't fold to,
Yeah.
People just fold the river so much more when they have air.
Yeah. Okay, so we open... it's kind of getting a little bit light, but like, whatever. I like it in hijack. It's kind of, yeah.
It's fine given how much we're getting through.
Yeah. This table seems to be a bit...
Let's go back. I'd much rather open those last 2 hands than the one we just opened. Like, I'd much
That's
rather
on the
open...
gun,
though. No, go back. Hand before. Yeah, see, I'd open that before I opened the last one. And if you go back and hand before that... No, sorry, I thought that was Queen 9. Yeah. No, never mind then. But I just don't like opening small aces. They don't play very well.
Yeah, I agree. I like this. This is an open as well. I'm folding Jack 10 though. Yep, check's fine. I think we can peel one. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
And check back on the turn. I think we
can bet river and hope like jacks through 7's call.
Given this guy like min bet twice as well, he's probably pretty fishy. So we can go for value against like, firstly, all queens chop with us now, except for like ace queen, which is good. So we can go for values from like lower pairs. So I'm thinking like even pretty small, like 800 or 1,000.
I'd probably go like 1,250.
Yeah, 1,250 is okay too. Yep, I like that. Any calls for the worst queen, whatever.
Better chopping queen.
Sorry, I said worst, didn't I? Yeah, chop it up. That's fine. I think the fact that this we chop to all queens now becomes a pretty clear thin value bet on the river because he has a lot more queens and mid pairs than kings, I think, in his rank.
Okay. He never has a 6 when he doesn't bet turn. His kings bet turn.
Yeah.
His check is like queen, X, and smaller pairs. So we always chop, and
Yeah.
we get some value
So
equals with it. It seems fine.
If the board doesn't pair on the turn,
Check folding river.
I'm probably checking, and then check folding river. Definitely.
But not really expecting him to bet river ever.
No. Expected to go check. No river a lot.
Defense fine, I think.
Yeah. I don't mind a fold here either, to be honest. Just from...
Provided he's not super nitty.
Yeah.
Like, if he's any kind of recreational player, then it's fine. I'd check fold the flop, though.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that you check folded here. Yeah, you're right.
It's just the will.
It depends on stats here. I think if he's pretty tight, I'm okay with a fold pre. If he's just kind of normal, then...
You also look up if he's positionally aware. Because
Yeah.
if someone runs like 20% from every position and they're not positionally aware, we can just treat all of their ranges with a similar range.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see people that run like 20-20 and just have, 20% attempt to steal, so they just don't steal any more than they raise from any other position.
Yeah.
They just hands they like, and they won't fold trash.
Yeah.
You know? They'll fold trash, so like...
Okay.
If he's like real nitty under the gun, then yeah, but otherwise it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now we get a nearly 3x from like early to mid, and we just flat. I really don't like this. I think this is a reverse implied odds scenario again.
Just fold pre.
I'm just folding pre. If you want to do anything here, 3-bet, but I wouldn't be doing that against this bigger open. Like if he just made it 1200 and he was relatively active, I don't mind a 3-bet here, but...
I want a 3-bet if he does this full range and is opening quite wide, but we haven't seen anything of him, and he's virtually 3x'd it.
Yeah, and people just don't 3x it that are any good. So his range is going to be pretty tight here, I think. Now he checks. So weird. That looks like jacks to me. Like, don't you reckon?
Yeah, jacks
and
as
tens.
king.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I bet because we can bet them off. We can't, yeah. Tens is definitely likely. Same.
I think you bluff raise quite
a lot. Spots you don't.
Yeah, like what do we check back here and then raise? Like it's kind of king. It's kind of queens, right? That's it.
And tens.
Oh yeah, and tens. So it's very thin. Like you're trying to rep sets in spots where it just becomes quite obvious that you can't have a set all the time, kind of thing.
And the only other hands we're doing this with are like king, jack of diamonds, and ace, jack of diamonds.
Yeah. So I think this was probably tens from him, to be honest, or or queens,
or like queen 10.
Yeah, but I doubt queen 10's in his range, given that he was early to mid and he 3x'd it. I mean, could be wrong, but I expect it to be pretty heavily discounted. I expect there to be as much.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. This is probably slightly too early to be opening here, especially just given the previous action as well. Because our image is pretty shot now that we race folded that turn. So if something like that happens to me, I'm pretty much just the next action I try and do is for value, whereas this isn't. This is pretty light. So
see, I'm gonna go a little off topic right now, but what I was thinking about today is how it's kind of cool to check back and raise turns for value because it just looks...
It looks full of shit, right?
It looks so bluffy, so... I've started doing it, whenever you turn 2-pair and stuff, I've noticed that you almost always get paid because what's in your range apart from hands that hit the turn. It's like when you triple barrel a higher turn card and the only thing you really rep on the river is you've turned top pair.
Yeah.
You know? It's just... It looks like it's the place we're going to get value. If we had a hand there, we get value a ton.
Yeah.
We don't really get... if we had queens there, we get value a ton by check raising that turn.
Yeah, so if we... And see, this board is so dry. There's no draws or anything. So, really, it's I mean, what do we check back here and then raise turn? It's sets or air, really.
Queens, maybe aces and tens.
Yeah. So it just becomes as you're right, like it just looked full of shit. So if you actually had Queen 10 here, it's a pretty sick spot to do it, rather than just like check and let him triple barrel.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is slightly too wide. I like that you c-bet this time. Some of these times you haven't, but this like we've definitely got aces in our range, so it's a great spot to c-bet.
Fine with fold.
Walkies, nice. Pick up jacks. We make it slightly bigger. I mean, that's fine. Small blind to big blind. I make it the same sizing. I still make it smaller. That's just me.
And the blinds have gone up. So what's our effective stat?
You're gonna make me like add up and shit again, aren't you?
No, just go back. It's fine. Yeah. So we're
20.
18.
Yeah.
19.
19.
We should be way better at maths for people that do this.
This is what my HUD's for.
19 bigs, yeah, Ray's cool. If we had like 15 and he was active, I'd probably limp. Just because
yeah.
we get to the stack where I don't want to jam like such a good hand that I'm not afraid to see a flop with. And
Like,
I think if it was like you versus me.
Yeah, but if you limped versus me, I would just smell a rat like straight away.
Yeah, but then at 15 bigs, 16 bigs, there's also hands that I'd be limping to fold, so I'd limp like A7 suited. A7 off. I wouldn't be raised folding them, I wouldn't be open folding them, I'd be limping them. Because you check back a merge range and you jam a polarized, so.
Yeah, I'd probably just jam those hands too, but.
Yeah, but there's no real value in jamming if there's someone that calls correctly. Like, if your call range is correct, then I'm not really gaining anything.
Yeah.
Whereas I can limp and it just adds another stack size dynamic, because 16 and 15 is like two short to raise fold, really viably blind versus blind.
Yeah, so that's probably something I haven't really incorporated in my game yet. I'd probably just jam, like, my full range at 16 bigs, like even aces.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it the best play.
I know, I'm not saying it does, I just... yeah.
So like 15, 16, I like limping there, because he checks, we bet the flop, and if we take it down, it's highly likely the hand that folded pre.
Yeah.
It's like he's going to check back, like, anything that would have called pre, and then, yeah. If anything, our range looks small, weaker, so he's just going to float, or raise as a bluff, or do something stupid, or jam on us pre.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, as played, betting smaller here, like 1200 or something?
Small. Super small. We've got like 17 bigs on the flop. We can just get it in so easily.
And like if you bet small, they kind of
just call off with anything.
Well, and they can shove thinking that they have some sort of fold equity as well.
We just look so strong when we get that size.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as with that big sizing, we can't
really beat anything other than jam here.
Yeah.
Just looks this.
Yeah. So I mean, this bigger sizing does set it up for an easy turn shove, but like
narrows his range to like top pair, and like because maybe ace four.
Yeah.
Like. A 2's just getting scared and folding there. He's not stacking for like 2-3.
Yeah, well, and if we bet like 1400 on this flop, then we have 8500 on the turn, and the pot's like 6500. So we can bet like 2k or like 2k into 6500 or like 2.5, and then we can set it up for a river shove anyway.
Plus, if we bet smaller, there's a good chance that he raises his top here for value slash.
Yeah, like if you're right. If we make this like, I mean, we saw his hand. We saw that he had 10-8 here. But if we make this like 1200 or 1400, he probably just gets it in with us on the flop. Uh, really big again, and I think it's just too. Um,
I don't mind doing it given we just showed down jacks.
that's true. That is true.
Like, if,
But I
yeah,
don't know. I don't like the sizing. I think
I don't.
just
Min-res
medium.
it.
Yeah.
Especially, like, you can play with sizing if, like, rigs are messing with you and you want to create, like, awkward stack sizes for them. But no one here is doing anything. There's no reason not to just
Nah.
play straightforward and just size it that best suits us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. C-bet's good. Yeah. And I think John's gone into boss mode because I'd definitely be making it smaller, but I don't mind the open.
This might be the bubble, given he just opening every hand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it very well could be. I'm probably just betting here again for value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely check calling and
Stronger king, we could be check raising there for value, given how full of shit our check raising range is.
yeah. So it's kind of it's a shitty river for the hearts, but it's kind of a nice like bluff card for him as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he has hearts in his range, but surely they'd be a bit bigger. And I mean, he has sixes in his range, which might be this sizing. How many sixes? Barrels.
Just when you say if he's got hearts and a bit bigger, what if you had hearts here and you put the other guy on a king? How much would you bet? Because I probably bet this much, like maybe a little bit more, maybe like 3.5 or something. But I don't go big.
I don't assume that random's value bet. You know.
No. I'm saying if we're in the small blind with a yeah, okay. You're not assuming he can do that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but also the point is that we don't put him on a king. Ever.
No.
If I have a hearts here, most likely he has a 6 or a 5, and a 5 is calling no bet, a 6 is calling a reasonable bet, so I bet bigger. Why would he be checking back with a flusher on the board? That's not a very large part of his range at all.
No, you misunderstood what I was saying. I'm saying if we're lacy here and we hit hearts on the river, and we put John on a king, how much are we betting?
Yeah, I'd probably bet like 4-4, 4-7.
So I'd probably bet a bit smaller because I think
it's a hijack for a small blind. He's just not folding that much. People just don't. People station. You get called, but the point is that what I was saying is that John's range, because he checked back, doesn't have many kings in it. So I'd bet bigger because the 6 means that 6x is calling a bigger bet anyway. Even though it shouldn't, because the range is the same. It will.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
Like, what checks back most often? Second pair.
Yeah.
Mid pair, bottom pair. 5x is folding anyway, 6x is calling. 7s through 10s probably call or fold anyway. They're not changing according to sizing. May as well go bigger for value.
Yeah.
Sure, stacks behind, and it's the river.
Alright, so we get 3-bet.
Folds.
It's a fold or a 4-bet. But this is a prime example of why making it like 2.5 here is a bad idea. Because we just gave up 399 chips here. That we just didn't need to.
And what, we're just going to check fold flop?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I missed that, didn't I? So yeah, if we call, I'd much rather a 4-bet than a call, because we're really hoping for.
Yeah, but he's not that like that often.
No, that's why I don't like either of them. I think it's just a fold.
I think it's like fold, massive space, 4-bet jam, reasonable space, call.
Yeah.
In terms of preference.
I agree. Because we just give up so much as well, so yeah.
And look at the sizing, he's just destroying us.
Yeah.
He has a value hand.
Yeah. But he doesn't have to have anything, it's just so...
Yeah, I know.
He could do that full range. Well, I would be doing this full range too, because it just sets it up nicely for on the turn.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just where we gave up there and didn't pay him off though.
Yeah. Alright, so now I don't know if we realise that the blinds went up, but our open sizes are smaller now, which is good. But they're the same as before, so something makes me think that you just didn't realise the blinds went up.
I think we should be just raising smaller. There's no need not to when we're just getting so many steals through.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think those steals are dependent on sizing. I think people just fold heaps.
Yeah.
And it's the bubble. Like, we don't want to give another half big blind away when someone 3-bets. We don't want to make them make their 3-bets bigger. And if we made that smaller and him in 3-bet, we can call a bit more often with a wider range.
Yeah. So, this is like, are we getting it in here? Or just folding? I kind of don't like flatting because we're just not deep enough.
Depends when the bubble is, really.
What's that?
Depends when the bubble was,
like,
really.
If this is on the bubble, his range looks ridiculously tight.
Yeah, so I just fold.
I'm probably folding.
This is post-bubble, I'm getting it in because he's just going to stack with all pairs and a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, we're just never deep enough to flat here. Because we're just hoping for like a 4-high board.
Calling, we've just got to... Like, the only way calling would be better is if you think he's just going to barrel everything.
Yeah.
And we can just always call down and we can fold on like ace, king, queen boards and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so now that we've check called on this flop, we're going to have to call off on the turn. Yeah, see, to be honest, I think that's just lighting money on fire.
Yeah.
Sorry if that sounds a bit harsh, John, but I'm probably just folding pre here, to be honest.
Yeah. I go off timing and stuff like.
Oh yeah. They could we're assuming this is pre. We're assuming this is still bubble when we say fold pre as well. Well, I am. So
yeah, I don't think jamming's ever terrible because we do okay versus range.
Yeah.
I just also don't think it's really necessary, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree. All right, so that's like 50 odd minutes again. So I'm just going to stop this and we'll come back in a sec.